Hello guys, and welcome to a new Steel Division video today by me, Vulcan. Today I have for you Jackson's Toy versus Protosszocker in the second round of the second Asia Pacific tournament. Today we're on Hill 112 and Jackson's Toy is going to be bringing out the Guards Armoured against Protossocker's 9th Panzer. I think Jackson's Toy has a good choice of division there. The Guards Armoured do deal with the Phase A of the 9th Panzer quite well, in that they do have access to the Cromwell 7s and the Cromwell 5s that are both good enough to take on the Panzer II Lux, the Panzer II C and the Panzer 1Cs. So that's good. As long as Jackson's Toy doesn't rely too much on AT guns, he should be absolutely fine. And it looks like if I scroll over to the left side here, that's exactly what Jackson's Toy is actually going to do. He's placed down 2 Cromwell 5s and a Cromwell 7 already, with a Humber Mark IV and a rifle unit up there. I'm assuming that's just one unit of rifle for the mid and a unit of rifle for the bottom. And that should be quite an interesting start. I'm surprised that he's not spreading out the Cromwells though. He's going to be trying to make a push in the same place with all of the Cromwells. It could be a very risky strategy indeed, in that if Protosszocker is aggressive on the other side of the map, Jackson's Toy could lose control very quickly due to the speed of the 9th Panzer's units. Let's have a look at what Protosszocker is going to be putting down in response. He has the Panzer 1C there, the Marder 3, he has a Befehl Panzer 2 and the Panzer 2 Lux, so pretty much the Panzer 2 combo, just remove the Lux there, assuming he's going to maybe place that elsewhere, but on the bottom side, MG with the half-track there. On the top side it's going to be Panzer 1C with the MG and half-track, and then we have an AT gun with the command infantry and a Panzer Grenadier. So it's going to be interesting because on this top side the Cromwell 7 should be able to deal with the Pak 38s quite easily. So wherever Protosszocker is relying on his AT guns, he may collapse quite quickly. However, if he can get the Marder 3 into a position of power, maybe on the edge of this hill for example, or even on the edge of this hill if they go down the bottom side, then he will have like an advantage of range. Let's have a look exactly where these Cromwells are going. So it looks like they're all heading towards this road on the first tier of the hill, which is an interesting place to put them. I honestly, if I was going to go for this strategy of 2 Cromwell 5s and a Cromwell 7, would have likely come up the top side instead. Because you can play around the ranges a lot better on the top side than you can on the bottom side. For example, if the Marder 3 goes here, he has 1,200 meter range across this entire tier of the hill. Whereas if you're on the top side, it's only 1,000 meters from this tree line to this tree line, which makes it easier for you Cromwells to engage things like a Marder 3. Now this Marder 3 is 2-star due to the Befehl Panzer 2C, but it's going to be interesting to see when Protosszocker spots this, what he does in response. So let's go to his perspective. He is going to see at least one of the Cromwells, and that's probably no surprise to him. But we'll have to wait until he sees more in order to gauge his response, because it's going to be important for Protosszocker to either react with his Panzer 2 and Panzer 1 towards the Cromwells, or just try and push elsewhere with those, whilst the Cromwells make the push through. Marder 3 also needs to be targeted appropriately towards the centre of the map here to take on these tanks. So, currently, only the 251 being fired upon by the Humber Mark IV. Cromwell 7 does reveal itself. And there's the Cromwell 5. You must see this other Cromwell 5 very shortly. Yep, that should pretty much tell you that there is about 400 points, maybe more, spent on this push. If you think that each of those are worth like 120 points each. Like the Cromwell 7 here, 120 points, Cromwell 5 is 120 points each, that's 360 points between them, plus the Humber Mark IV. So 400 points worth of units, almost exactly, pushing on the top side. That means that you have an overwhelming advantage on the bottom side. So I would like to see Protosszocker get the fast move on with these Panzer 1C and the Panzer 2C here, and make as much ground as he can, whilst he tries to react to the Cromwells coming in here. He's already brought up a Pack 38, and that's going to one-shot one of the Cromwells. That is a big loss already. Wow. Did not expect that Pack 38 to one-shot, but that fell in Protosszoker's favour there. He also finds the weapon jam onto the Humber Mark 1. So ideally what you want to do with this sort of Cromwell 5 push is send the Cromwell 7 first, almost always, because it has the extra armour. It's only extra armour on the front, so maybe that wouldn't have helped against the Pack 38 there, because it seemed like the Cromwell 5 got side shot. But still, it's definitely worth having the Cromwell 7 go first to engage things like these Pack 38s, because there isn't anything that Protosszocker really has that can penetrate a Cromwell 7 in the front armour in Phase A. I'm extremely surprised that these units aren't moving though. Marder 3 should easily be moving over to the centre here to cover off the roads on the first tier of the hill. He's easily got control of the second tier, so pushing on with the Panzer 1C here and the Befehl Panzer 2C would be a great idea. Even getting this Panzer 1C into a position where he can see things from this hedgerow would be fantastic. And another pack was brought in by Protosszocker. That's going to go down. Things aren't actually looking too good for Protosszocker at the moment. He has got a +1 lead and is counting up the +1, but without him moving any of these units down here, this lead could easily fall heavily in favour of Jackson's Toy. If Jackson's Toy like cleans up the rest of the forces on this top side, there's going to be like nothing to stop him from solidifying that lead really. So Marder 3 is going to be brought in as a reinforcement. We also see a Panzer 2 Lux on the way. Both of these tanks are currently engaging the Pack 38, but I believe that was a bit of a mistake there. The Cromwell 5 actually engaged the Pack 38 before the Cromwell 7, and that is a huge mistake, because again, you don't want the Cromwell 7 to get penetrated by the Pack 38, which it can, when you can engage with the Cromwell 7 that can't be penetrated by the Pack 38. In the centre of the map, the rifles revealing the Panzer Grenadiers. They're going to be pinned down by the Cromwell 5. I'm really surprised that this Marder 3 has not moved. All of these units on the bottom side here have not moved at all since the start of the game. And that is a real lapse of concentration there from Protosszocker. Of course he will be concentrating on this top side, but you should be taking ground where you can elsewhere on the map if somebody invests at least like 400 points into one push. So the Cromwell 5, they're going to be surrendering the Panzer Grenadiers. The rifles here going to get pinned down and killed off. And we do see a huge salient opening up for Protosszocker. Protosszocker needs to find the kill onto the Cromwell 5 here. It looks as though the Lux just took out the Cromwell 7 with a side shot. Cromwell 5 couldn't quite save the day with the bailout. That is a huge blow to Jackson Toy's push up here. And now the Pack 38 will be able to penetrate the Cromwell 5 in future, unless the Cromwell 5 is able to just shoot at that until its death. But this Cromwell 5 should basically be running down that Pack 38 right now, getting the MGs on target, getting that kill in very quickly. Cromwell 5 in the mid, in a pretty sticky spot now. Bottom side has led to the kill onto the rifles, the MG42 moving through there with the 251-1. So 57% territory lead in favour of Protosszocker. I'm not sure how Protosszocker really got away with this, especially having a lot of his units idle for the first half of this game. But it looks like he's going to just charge the Cromwell 5 here with the Panzer 2 Lux, come over the horizon here with the Marder 3 and the Panzer 1C. And that's going to be a very dead Cromwell 5. Also the rifles there are going to be falling down, and that could easily be a double surrender or just a double kill. Cromwell 5 is moving over to help out, but will not be able to deal with a Marder 2 that has 2-star veterancy, especially if it comes up this road. It's just going to get itself popped before he gets in range maybe. On the top side, rifles trying to engage the Panzer Grenadiers. Jackson's Toy's push has completely fallen apart. Cromwell 5 is isolated. Protosszocker has the map control. And yeah, looks like it's almost game over for Jackson's toy. If he loses this Cromwell 5, it puts him in such a bad position, and it's going to be very hard for him to recover moving into Phase B. He could maybe bring in the Shermans and try and make a push off those, but if this Cromwell 5 doesn't find at least a couple of kills, Protosszocker is going to have an overwhelming tank advantage. And currently 2 Looks are coming up close range onto this Cromwell 5. This Looks is going to be engaging from the other direction. At least one of those is going to get a side shot. There's only 5 armor on the side, so a critical hit will come up soon. He's also being forced to fall back anyway. So that's just going to be Protosszocker charging that down with the fast move, and Jackson's toy is going to surrender. So what was an interesting strategy with those 3 Cromwells pushing through just really didn't pay off in the end. I believe Protosszocker reacted to that relatively well, using the Pack 38s to his advantage. And that initial kill with the Pack 38 unvetted onto the Cromwell 5 really set the tone, honestly, for how that push was going to end up. I don't think that Jackson's toy really microed his Cromwells very well, and same on the other side really, Protosszocker not using his units to the best of their ability. They kind of sat there for at least 5 minutes on the top of that hill doing absolutely nothing when they could have made tons of ground or tried to flank the Cromwells elsewhere. So the Cromwells here, they did get a few kills between them, but the losses where of course the Pack 38's killing off some vital units. And then we see the Panzer II Looks coming in here, taking out the Cromwell 7. That was a devastating push there, or kill for Jackson's toy. But not really much else to say. There wasn't anything that really died that wasn't brought in at the start of the game, and I guess it's kind of disappointing for a tournament game. We do see the surrender there, and I'm sorry about that, guys. I know you don't particularly enjoy these videos ending in surrenders like that and ending quickly. I do like to bring you the close and long games, but when it's a tournament, I like to bring you all of them just to so that we have the sort of story of the tournament and how people got to each phase. So Protosszocker going to be moving on to round 3 after defeating Jackson's toy, and Jackson's toy going to be moving down to round 1 of the lower bracket. And there you have it. That's going to be it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.